Nigeria spent over $2 billion on its 2023 general elections through the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, only to deliver a glitchy biometric system that failed spectacularly on election day, installing a president whose victory remains heavily disputed. Now, Captain Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso has just delivered a knockout punch to this entire charade by scrapping his country's electoral commission entirely, calling it an $870,000 annual waste of money and a tool of foreign manipulation. On July 17, 2025, Traore's government dissolved the National Electoral Commission, transferring all electoral oversight to the Ministry of Interior. His reasoning: this change was necessary to reinforce our sovereign control of the electoral process and limit foreign influences. But this bombshell decision goes deeper than just cutting costs. It's part of a revolutionary model that's spreading like wildfire across the Sahel, challenging the very foundations of Western-imposed democracy in Africa. While the former ECOWAS chairman Bola Tinubu, himself a product of Nigeria's most questionable election in recent history, condemns military government, these young African leaders are rewriting the rules of governance entirely. In this episode, we are going to dive deep into why Traoré believes electoral commissions are a scam, how this revolutionary movement is reshaping three nations, and why the Alliance of Sahel States is declaring war on Western-style democracy across Africa. Captain Ibrahim Traoré didn't miss words when he called Burkina Faso's electoral commission a waste of money. At $870,000 annually, the Electoral Commission was bleeding the state dry while serving as what Traoré described as a tool of foreign manipulation. But let's put this into perspective. Nigeria's INEC consumed billions in 2023, promising electronic transmission of results that never worked, biometric systems that failed nationwide, and transparent elections that ended up in court for months. Kenya's Electoral Commission has cost taxpayers hundreds of millions over the years, yet their elections still packed violence and legal battles. South Africa's Electoral Commission has overseen decades of voting, yet inequality and poverty have only worsened. Traoré's Minister of Territorial Administration, Emile Zebo, explained that the commission was budget-consuming and inconsistent with the transition charter. More importantly, he said dissolving it will reinforce sovereign control over electoral processes and limit foreign influences. This isn't just about money, it's about control. Electoral commissions across Africa are filled with commissioners appointed through political negotiations or often influenced by foreign donors and international organizations. They operate with foreign technical assistance, use foreign supply technology, and follow foreign design procedures. The message from Burkina Faso is clear. Why spend nearly $1 million annually on an institution that serves foreign interests when that money could build hospitals, schools, or roads that directly benefit the people? Why electoral commissions drain budget? Captain Traoré has declared something that will shock Western diplomats. We are not in a democracy. We are in a popular progressive revolution. This isn't just rhetoric. It's a fundamental rejection of the entire Western democratic model for Africa. Traoré, channeling the spirit of Thomas Sankara, Burkina Faso's legendary revolutionary leader, argues that democracy is a luxury Africa cannot afford. It's impossible to name a single African country that has developed in a democracy, he declared during a recent ceremony. Democracy is only the end result. We must necessarily go through a revolution. This philosophy directly challenges the Western narrative that has dominated Africa since the 1990s. While countries like Nigeria have held elections for over 2 decades, poverty has increased. Kenya has perfected the art of democratic transitions, yet corruption flourishes. Ghana is praised as a democratic success story, yet its youth emigrate in droves seeking opportunities elsewhere. Traoré's revolution isn't just theoretical. Since taking power in 2022, his government has nationalized gold mining operations, expelled French forces, and redirected resources from bureaucratic processes to tangible development projects. They've built roads, hospitals, and schools while maintaining security against terrorist groups. The revolutionary model prioritizes results over rituals, development over debate, and sovereignty over international approval. It's a model that's resonating across Africa, especially among youth who are tired of voting in elections that change nothing fundamental about their lives. What makes Traoré's move even more significant is that he's not alone. His decision mirrors identical actions by his allies in the Alliance of Sahel States, proving that this is a coordinated rejection of Western democratic templates. In Mali, Colonel Assimi Goïta has extended military rule by 5 more years, dissolving political parties and declaring that elections will only come after complete sovereignty is achieved. The Malian transition, originally planned for 2022, then 2024, is now open-ended, with Goïta having the constitutional right to run in future elections. Niger's military leader, General Chiani, announced in early 2025 that elections would happen until at least 2030, with a complete overhaul of the country's political system. Like Burkina Faso, Niger has prioritized institutional reforms and sovereignty over electoral timelines. These aren't isolated decisions by individual leaders. They represent coordinated strategy by the Alliance of Sahel States to reject externally imposed democratic transitions. The AES has introduced joint passports, abolished roaming charges between member countries, and established common defense protocols. Most importantly, all 3 countries have expelled French forces and rejected ECOWAS authority. They've created an alternative model where revolutionary government prioritizes development, security, and sovereignty over holding elections that satisfy international observers. The message is clear. The era of African countries dancing to foreign electoral timetables is over. The irony couldn't be richer. ECOWAS, led by Nigeria's Bola Tinubu until recently handing over to Bureau of Sierra Leone, continues to condemn the Alliance of Sahel States for not holding elections, while Tinubu himself emerged from one of Nigeria's most questionable electoral processes in recent history. Nigeria's 2023 elections was marked by a massive failure of the biometric voter accreditation system, non-transmission of results as planned, widespread violence in Lagos and other states, and legal challenges that lasted months. International observers noted irregularities, yet Tinubu was declared winner and lecturing other countries about democratic governance. This hypocrisy extends across ECOWAS. Senegal's 2024 elections were nearly postponed indefinitely before international pressure forced a vote. Ivory Coast Hassan Ouattara changed the constitution to run for a 3rd term, sparking deadly protests. Yet, these same leaders, product of flawed electoral system, demand that Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso organize elections immediately. They impose sanctions on countries that refuse to hold elections while ignoring the fundamental issues that make their own elections questionable. The Alliance of Sahel States has exposed these contradictions. They are asking a simple question. If ECOWAS elections are so free and fair, why do they consistently produce leaders who maintain poverty, corruption, and dependence on former colonial powers? Traore's dissolution of the Electoral Commission is a direct response to this hypocrisy. Instead of organizing expensive elections to satisfy ECOWAS, he's investing that money in development projects that improves lives. Critics love to claim that Africa's revolutionary leaders lack popular support, but the failed coup attempt against Traore in April 2025 proved exactly the opposite. When news broke of the alleged plot, masterminded from Ivory Coast, according to Burkina Faso's security minister, hundreds of thousands of Burkina babes took to the street in defense of their captain. The plot, scheduled for April 16, involved current and former military officers working with terrorist groups to storm the presidential palace. Security Minister Mohamedou Sana revealed that the conspirators had recruited soldiers and were passing sensitive information to terrorist elements to destabilize the government. But what happened next shocked international observers. Instead of the population rising against Traore, they rallied to defend him. Massive demonstrations filled the streets of Ouagadougou, with youth carrying banners supporting the revolution and rejecting foreign interference. This popular support isn't accidental. Since taking power, Traore has delivered tangible results. Roads are being built without foreign loans. Gold mining revenues are staying in Burkina Faso instead of flowing to foreign corporations. Security has improved in many regions despite ongoing terrorist threats. The failed coup attempt revealed another truth. Foreign powers working through regional proxies are actively trying to destabilize revolutionary government that threaten their interests. The fact that the plot originated from Ivory Coast, a strong ally of France and ECOWAS, wasn't coincidental. The people's response sent a clear message. They prefer revolutionary leadership that delivers results over democratic processes that maintain the status quo. To understand Traore's actions, you must first understand Thomas Sankara, Burkina Faso's revolutionary president from 1983 to 1987, who remains one of Africa's most iconic leaders. Sankara transformed Burkina Faso in just 4 years, achieving food self-sufficiency, dramatically improving literacy rates, planting millions of trees, and vaccinating millions of children. Sankara rejected foreign aid with exploitative conditions, promoted women's rights, and built infrastructure through popular mobilization rather than foreign debt. His government was frugal, efficient, and focused on results rather than international recognition. Most importantly, Sankara understood that development comes through revolution, not through elections that maintain existing power structures. He was assassinated in 1987, allegedly with French complicity, precisely because his model threatened neo-colonial interests. Traore's rhetoric consistently echoes Sankara's philosophy. Like his predecessor, he emphasizes self-reliance, rejects foreign interference, and prioritizes tangible development over political processes that satisfy international observers but change nothing fundamental. The dissolution of the Electoral Commission is classic Sankara logic. Why maintain expensive institutions that serve foreign interests when those resources could be used for development? Sankara has similar content for bureaucratic processes that drain resources without delivering results. Today's youth across Africa see Traore as Sankara's heir, carrying forward a revolutionary tradition that prioritizes African sovereignty and development over Western-approved democratic procedures. His social media following spans the continent, with millions viewing him as the leader Africa has been waiting for. What we are witnessing isn't just about electoral commissions or transition timelines. It's about a fundamental shift in how Africa approaches governance, development, and international relations. The Alliance of Sahel States has created a new model that prioritizes sovereignty, results, and African solutions over Western approval. By scrapping the Electoral Commission, Traore has saved $870,000 annually while removing a source of foreign interference. But more importantly, he's demonstrated that African countries can choose their own governance model without seeking permission from former colonial powers or regional blocs controlled by those powers. The revolutionary model is spreading. Youth across Africa are questioning why their countries hold expensive elections that change nothing, while revolutionary governments in the Sahel build roads, hospitals, and schools. They are asking why their leaders seek Western approval, while Sahel leaders focus on delivering development. This isn't just about 3 countries in West Africa. It's about a new African consciousness that rejects neo-colonial templates and embraces revolutionary alternatives. The AES has shown that African countries can cooperate, trade, and develop without Western oversight or approval. Critics call this authoritarianism, but supporters see it as authentic African leadership that prioritizes results over rituals. While ECOWAS countries continue holding elections that maintain poverty and dependence, the revolutionary state focused on building sovereign, developed societies. The dissolution of Burkina Faso's Electoral Commission marks a turning point. Africa is choosing revolution over democracy, sovereignty over approval, and development over processes. This is the future, and it's already here. This is Frontline Africa. If you value truth unfiltered and power reframed from an African lens, subscribe, like, and drop your thoughts in the comments. I am Ezekiel Enegeta. See you in the next one.